He's almost an illusionist. I think that's where he got the nickname Luka.
What if I told you that one of the biggest superstars in the NBA is living two completely different lives at the same time? On one side, he's the face of a legendary franchise. On the other, he's fighting a personal battle no one saw coming. Because while fans are watching the highlights, something much deeper has been unfolding behind the scenes. A sudden breakup, a legal filing, and a decision by the Los Angeles Lakers that changes everything. This is the full story of Luka Doncic. For years, Luka has been known as Luka Magic, a player who doesn't just play basketball, he controls it, slows it down, bends it to his will. Even Jeanie couldn't hide it. When she spoke about Luka publicly, she didn't sound like an owner talking about a player. She sounded like a fan watching something unreal. She described his vision, his passing, his ability to see plays before they even happen, like an illusionist. And then she made it official. In February 2026, during a national interview, she said something that instantly changed the direction of the Lakers. She didn't hesitate. She didn't soften it. She said the franchise is being built around Luka Doncic, not in the future, right now. That's not just a compliment. That's pressure. That's legacy. That's expectation. And just as that moment was sinking in, everything off the court started falling apart. On March 9th, 2026, a legal document appeared inside the Los Angeles County Superior Court. At first glance, it looked routine, but the name attached to it made it impossible to ignore. Ana Maria Goltez, Luka's partner of nearly 10 years, the mother of his children, she had filed a petition requesting child support and legal expenses. Within hours, the story spread everywhere. By the next day, outlets like ESPN and Associated Press had confirmed it. And suddenly, a private situation became global news. But here's what made this different. There were no accusations, no scandal, no drama in the legal sense, just a standard filing. But emotionally, it meant everything had already changed. What shocked people even more was Luka's reaction. Because according to reports, he didn't even know the filing had happened until he saw it in the media. That same day, he responded. Not with anger, not with blame, just honesty. He said he loves his daughters more than anything, that everything he does is for them, and that distance had become too difficult. That was it. No details, no attacks, just a father trying to explain a decision that clearly wasn't easy. But to understand how things got here, you have to go back, way back, before the NBA, before fame, before any of this. Luka Doncic and Ana Maria Goltez didn't meet through fame. They met as teenagers, same region, same social circles, summers filled with basketball camps and shared connections across Slovenia and Croatia. Back then, Luka wasn't Luka Magic. He was just a talented kid chasing a dream. By 2016, their connection turned into a real relationship. When Luka moved to Spain to play for Real Madrid Baloncesto, she supported him. When he got drafted into the NBA in 2018 and joined the Dallas Mavericks, she followed. They grew together. Through pressure, through fame, through everything. Years later, in July 2023, Luka proposed at Lake Bled, one of the most beautiful locations in Slovenia. It was quiet, personal, meaningful. Shortly after, their first daughter was born, then their second. And from the outside, it looked like everything was perfect. But everything changed in 2025, and it started with a phone call. Just after midnight on February 2nd, Luka's phone rang. He was in Dallas, comfortable, settled, loyal to the team that drafted him. Then he got the call. By the time it ended, he was no longer a Maverick. He was a Laker. The trade shocked the entire NBA. It involved multiple teams, including the Utah Jazz. Anthony Davis was sent to Dallas. And Luka, he didn't see it coming at all. Even Jeanie later admitted she had never seen a player arrive in Los Angeles that emotional after a trade. He had just built a life in Dallas, a home, a future, and overnight, it was gone. That kind of moment doesn't just affect basketball, it affects everything, including family. After the move to Los Angeles, things became complicated. Luka stayed in the U.S. for the NBA season, but Ana Maria and the children returned to Slovenia. At first, it seemed temporary, something they would figure out, but over time, it became permanent. 2 different continents, 2 different routines, 2 completely different lives. Luka was flying back whenever he could, short breaks, All-Star weekend, any moment he had. But the NBA schedule doesn't stop. 82 games, travel, pressure, expectations, and slowly that distance became something bigger. By late 2025, the situation reached a breaking point. In December, Luka traveled to Slovenia for the birth of his second daughter. He was there, present, a father in one of the most important moments of his life. But just days later, he had to leave. Games were waiting, responsibilities were calling. Before leaving, he wanted to take his older daughter back with him. Anna Maria said no. What followed wasn't a scandal. It wasn't violence. It wasn't anything criminal. It was something much more real. A disagreement between 2 parents trying to figure out what's best for their children. Authorities briefly got involved. They found no wrongdoing, no charges, no case. But emotionally, that moment changed everything. After that, they never saw each other in person again. Time passed, months went by, and every attempt to bring the children to the U.S. during the season failed. Legal processes began, one in Slovenia for custody, one in California for financial support. And while all of this was happening, Luka Doncic was dominating the NBA. He was leading the league in scoring, dropping 30, 35, sometimes 40 points a night, recording triple doubles, controlling games like nothing was wrong. Even on the exact day the legal story broke, he stepped on the court against the Golden State Warriors and delivered. Like always, that's what makes this story different, because most people would break under that pressure. Analysts like Stephen A. Smith said it clearly. The Lakers may not be perfect for him, but they have something rare, a generational player. And the organization, they doubled down. They built everything around him, the roster, the system, the future. Privately, they supported him. Publicly, they protected him. And on the court, they trusted him completely. And that brings us back to the reality of this moment. At the same time, Luka became the face of the Lakers. His decade-long relationship ended. Legal battles began across 2 countries. And he continued playing at an MVP level. That's not normal. That's not easy. That's something very few people can handle, because this isn't just about basketball. It's about sacrifice. It's about distance. It's about trying to balance a global career with being a present father. Luka didn't ask to be traded. He didn't plan for this separation. And he definitely didn't expect everything to happen at once. But through all of it, he showed up every game, every night, because sometimes the strongest performances aren't the ones you see in the highlights. They're the ones happening behind the scenes. And the truth is, we're only seeing part of the story.